What's going on, gentlemen and ladies? Welcome to Essential Style. We're still calling it Essential Style? We are? We're not. We are. Okay, good. Welcome to Essential Style. In this video, we're going to be talking about my 6th or 7th month review of my Red Wing Iron Rangers that I purchased back in November 2020. And we're currently sitting here in May 2021, so that would put it at about a 6-month, give or take, review. So we have a few things to go over. We're going to talk about the things that I like and do not like, a lot of my experience with it, whether that's good or not so good, and just my overall opinion, who the boot is for, who it's not for, should you shell out the money and get this, and what to expect if you're wearing this thing all day, every day, in all weather situations. Let's get right to it. We'll start off with the pros. Well, the pro is the style is a really nice looking boot. I really like this. It's just bulbous enough. It's not a dainty looking dress shoe or dress boot, but it's not so big and bulky to the point where it just looks like a clown shoe. I've seen a couple of shoes, and I've had a couple of shoes that just looks like moon boots or space shoes, and it's not really what I was looking for in a boot. I wanted something that was a little bit more rugged, but kind of walked that fine line between casual and formal, and I found that this boot does that really well just because the style of the boot. Now, obviously, you really can only wear this. I would only take this as high as khaki colored chinos, but I wouldn't wear it with a suit. I think that there are just other options out there. You could do it. I've worn these, as long as I shine them up with conditioner, I've worn these with my chinos, and they look perfectly fine. I'm happy with those. So style, really good. So another pro of this boot is that it is very durable. I kind of knew this going in. The Red Wing Heritage line has a reputation of being very durable. As you can see, I have a couple of scuffs on this one. And then on this one, we've got some scuffs as well. On the back right here, you'll see right there, this used to look a lot worse. Rub some conditioner on there, shine it in, and you're good to go. I really like how they have held up to all the abuse, which is not much. I mean, they're not true work boots, but they look better the more scuffed up they go. It's just a great boot. It's also nice that it's a Goodyear welt. When it wears away, you can pay, I think it's $100 to just have them stitch a brand new one on there. The heel is showing some signs of wear, but that's to be expected. Nothing really too crazy right there. That's to be expected. So durability, absolutely. With conditioning, I think I conditioned these maybe on average. I maybe conditioned them like 4 times, maybe, if that. You could see as the light bounces off from over here, you can see how shiny they have. If I never conditioned them, they probably look a lot more of like a matte finish and a lot more of like a rugged finish. I find myself conditioning them not because I want to take care of the leather, but only because I like having that slight shine to it. I think it just makes boot look a little bit nicer. Especially the most rugged I get is a flannel shirt and a pair of jeans. Don't want to let it get too scuffed, although getting scuffed up a little bit, it does look good. And overall, the boot can just play both sides. It looks good when it's scuffed up. It looks good when it's polished up. So definitely can dress it up more than the forums and the internet will tell you you can. Can't take it that high. Obviously, everyone knows you can't wear it with a suit, or you shouldn't wear it with a suit. And as I've worn them throughout the months I've had them, the leather has gotten incredibly soft, almost to the point where I thought that this stretched out too much, this upper part of the ankle. I thought that when I was tying it as tight as I could, it almost felt like it didn't have a good hold on my foot anymore. What ended up happening was the leather, especially back here, it got so soft that it just felt so comfortable. They've really softened up to the point where they're very comfortable. So for at work, a lot of times I end up having to stand up and crouch down like this. I try to stay off my knees so I don't just sit here and go like this all the time. What I end up doing sometimes, if I do, I guess you call like a lunge type, I go like that, and as you can see, the boot is pretty much almost at a 90-degree angle right now, the one on my right foot, and I can feel that I'm wearing a shoe. It's nowhere near as uncomfortable as it was when I first got it and it wasn't broken in. Same thing with the other one. Really no big deal at all. A lot of times after work I do some calisthenics, and if I was wearing these boots I couldn't do it. Now if I want to do push-ups and I'm wearing these boots, no problem. I can feel that the boots are kind of crunched up a little bit, and I can feel them pushing onto the top of my foot, but overall it doesn't feel like it's cutting my circulation off. The leather has gotten very soft and very comfortable, so no problems here. With that, we're going to talk about the break-in process of this boot. I sized properly. These are a size 11. Size 11 fits me really good. It still fits good. I don't have any pain. It doesn't feel too sloppy. It feels perfect. It was about 2 or 3 weeks until I could actually walk with them, and actually feel confident in wearing them all day. Toward the end of the day, on just a normal day when I'm going in and out of clients' accounts and I'm kind of getting in and out of my car, it wasn't a big deal because I wasn't standing on my feet all day for 8 hours straight. So it was fine with that. So after about a month, I thought they were good. I thought that was as good as they would get. If I wore them for longer than 4 hours and I was on my feet a lot, my feet would start to hurt. It wouldn't really hurt up here. This part up here, like I was just demonstrating before, this part loosened up pretty fast. It would kind of hurt on the bottom. There's not a lot of cushion in here. It's a very hard leather footbed. So I found that I couldn't wear them for longer than 3 or 4 hours. But I knew that it was only a month or two, so I kind of had to keep breaking them in. At the 3-month mark, the boot still was not at the just set it and forget it, just throw them on and just keep walking, no problem. It wasn't at that comfort level yet. And this was the point that I started to give up on the boot. And I said, maybe I shouldn't have bought these. It was quite a bit of money. I have other boots. I have other more comfortable shoes. Is it really worth it? And I kind of was second guessing myself. And I said, I love the style and durability, but not if it's going to kill my feet. So that I really wasn't too psyched with. So next thing I noticed is it fits good, but it could be a bit narrow right here. Now, most of the time that's not a problem. However, if you're walking up a set of stairs or you're walking over a curb and you don't realize and you hit the stair right here, this part can dig right into like the bottom of my arch. That caught me by surprise a couple of times. I was more just like, ow, that hurt. Doesn't happen all the time. I think it's because this stitching and then this part is just such a narrow part right here that it ends up just jabbing into your foot. And because it's, like I said, because it's so narrow, it just kind of makes it really uncomfortable. Not a big deal. It only happened to me maybe 3 or 4 times in the entirety of having and owning and wearing this boot, but it is something I wanted to mention. It took me by surprise. Just be careful. If you step on a curb or a stair like that, it can take you by surprise and you'll just feel like a jabbing right into the middle of your foot. So there's another con, and this really is only like more something on paper. They're not quite as versatile as any of my other boots. Actually, they're probably the least versatile boot that I have. So if I wanted to dress up quite a bit, I could just wear my Allen Edmonds Daltons, which are very comfortable and also a lot more dressy than the Iron Rangers. If I didn't want to go that dressy and I wanted to go kind of casual but smart casual, the Higgins Mill comes in. Again, not as dressy as the Daltons, but quite a bit shinier and quite a bit dressier than the Iron Rangers. Especially the toe box, the silhouette, just overall easier to wear it in more situations. If it's totally raining and it's cold, this boot is not really waterproof. There's no lining in it, so I'd have to wear really thick socks, but my feet will still get wet after a few minutes. Or I could just wear my Echoes, which have the Gore-Tex lining and rubber outsole, which super waterproof, super warm, super breathable, and it's cheaper than the Iron Ranger. If it was a bit warmer, usually I end up wearing my desert boots, and if I want something that's a bit more dressier than this model of desert boots, I actually have a nicer pair of desert boots that I think this is a tan colorway, and I have my dress shoes. So I'm pretty much covered for all bases. This boot, it's not fully waterproof. You can't really dress it up that much. It doesn't look as good smart casual. It's not warm. It's really the only good thing about it is that I like the style and it's pretty much bulletproof. On paper, take note of that if you guys are looking for a boot that's going to stand up to the elements such as rain and snow and keep your feet warm, there are a lot better options out there. And especially, it's a good idea to wear a pair of shoes like this that's a little bit cheaper and more comfortable. That way, if you ruin them, you're not heartbroken, and it's not like you ruined your favorite pair of boots. Just something to keep in mind. Don't buy the Iron Ranger thinking it's going to be super comfortable, super waterproof, super warm right out of the bat. It has a much more specific use case and a much more specific customer. Kind of someone like me that actually wanted a boot like this. Also, with the arch support, they're fully broken in now, no problems at all. But the arch support, there's not really much arch support in here. It doesn't bother me. So that's just something to keep in mind. Those are some of my negative experience with these boots and the shortcomings that I've had and I've experienced when wearing these boots in all situations. With that being said, let's move on to the break-in process. So it took about 2 weeks for them to really start to loosen up around here and loosen up to the point that I felt like I could wear them all day and it wasn't really going to give me much of a problem. So what ended up happening after I had them for about 3 or 4 months is I wore them to a standby shift where I had to stand at a client's site for 8 hours. And I had to do it all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So I wore them on Saturday thinking they'd be fine and they're broken in. and they were fine. Toward like the halfway mark, I could feel my feet start to hurt on the bottom. I was a bit bummed out, and by the end of the day, I was actually telling myself it was a mistake to wear these boots. And I kind of was driving home that day, and I was pretty upset. I had these boots for 3 or 4 months already. I thought they were all broken in. I said, is this as good as it gets? And then when I went back the next day, I just threw on the Allen Edmonds Higgins Mill boot, and my feet were fine the whole day. I wasn't too psyched about that, and I thought I just had to kind of write them off and say, well, I guess they're not as essential to me as I thought, because I don't like having boots that I can only wear for 3 or 4 hours. So as time went on, I continued to wear them like once or twice a week. Long as I didn't have to stand up for long times, I usually don't at work. They were fine, no issues at all. But my second negative experience with them came from when I was wearing them to an installation, an overnight installation. And it involved a lot of standing up, crunching down, standing up, crouching down. And again, same thing, at the end of the shift, I was thinking, okay, it was probably a mistake to wear these again. Next time I'm wearing my Echoes or I'm wearing my desert boots, depending on the weather and what time of year it is, those seem to be my most comfortable options. And they're also a bit less expensive, a bit more affordable. And so if I scuff them up to the point where I can't just polish it out, no problem. Even just walking around for more than 2 miles, there is no cushioning in the back of this heel. Pretty much the heel strike was just jarring, and the boot felt very heavy when I was walking around. And again, I thought that's as good as it was going to get. I just figured, okay, I mean, the boot's only good for 3 or 4 hours or going out on a night in town. It's not an all-day boot, unfortunately, which I was pretty bummed about. So, but as time went on, I continued to wear them more and more and more. I mentioned before, they got so loose to the point where right up here, it felt like it was almost like not holding my foot tight at all. That was around the point that the heel, when I was walking, it wasn't as jarring. And I found they got a lot more comfortable, like really a lot more comfortable. And that was after like the 4th or 5th month. They really started to feel comfortable. So overall, these boots took about almost 6 months to get as comfortable as they are today, which I would wear them to an 8-hour installation or an 8-hour shift where I had to be on my feet the whole time just to try. These boots, everyone says that they do stretch out quite a bit. I was concerned that the boots would stretch out to the point that they would just be too sloppy. That's happened to me before with certain boots, certain shoes. But the boots, they don't feel sloppy. They don't feel too loose. They don't feel too tight. I can wear thin cotton socks if it's a bit warmer out. I can wear thicker winter wool socks, not super thick socks, but I can wear pretty much medium to heavyweight wool socks, and I have no issues at all. So in conclusion, I'm very happy with my purchase, and overall, with some bumps in the road here and there and some negative experiences, I do enjoy this boot. I'm happy I got it. I do wish that it took a little bit shorter to break it in, because like I said, you have a pair of shoes for 3 months and they're not comfortable. Most people would just say, I'm getting rid of these things, and as I was thinking too. The only negative thing I can really say about these shoes is it took 4 or 5 months for them to get to the point where I could wear them comfortably all day, every day. If anyone watching this is in the market for a pair of Red Wing Iron Rangers, take my experiences, try to learn from it, and just realize that if you buy a pair of Iron Rangers, you're not going to just be able to buy them and then walk all over a city, or if you're abroad or anything like that. Don't buy them before a big trip, and then these are the only pairs of shoes that you're going to be walking around. Definitely want to take a pair of sneakers. Take the break-in process slow. That's my 6-month review of the Red Wing Iron Ranger. Overall, really happy about it. As always, guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.